What's up guys? In this video I'm going to explain you and I'm going to teach you how to use sockets in Python. This is a very simple thing and this video will be very short. So yeah, let's start. First of all, what we have to do is that we have to know that there are two parts. We have the client part and we have the server part. Also, we have to think which kind of sockets we are going to use. So for example, we can use TCP sockets as we are using here, or also we can use UDP sockets. So you just have to know that with TCP you are not going to lose anything, but it's a little bit slower. But if you use UDP, you may lose some packets, but it's faster because the packets are smaller. So yeah, once you decide the type of the socket and yeah, you know that you are going to use a client and a server, you have to program both parts. So first of all, here we have the server part, and as you can see, the first thing that you have to do is to import the socket library. You don't have to install anything strange, you just have to import it. Then you have to declare the socket. And how do you declare the socket? Using the library and using the function socket. So yeah, the first argument, I don't really know what it is, but the second argument is the one who says which type of socket you are going to use, UDP or TCP. So for example, socket stream is UDP, but if we use sock dgram, which is from datagram, it is going to create a UDP socket. So yeah, once you've done that, you have to say to the server what is the IP that is going to use and the port which is going to be tracking. So here with the bind function, we are saying, hey, you are going to use the local host. So that is the 127.0.0.1, I think. This is just the IP direction of my PC here at home. And then we set here a port. This port should be opened, and if you do this test here at your home, you won't have any issue. But if you try to communicate two machines which are at different networks, you will need that these ports are open. So yeah, then after you use the bind function, you have to use the listen function. This listen function is just simply that it says, hey, I want to have a queue of packets, of messages that at maximum has 5 elements. So if we have 5 elements in the queue and we receive one more packet, that packet disappears because we already have 5 elements in the queue. So yeah, you can change this number, for example, put here a 10 or whatever, and that's it. Now we have done almost everything. So now we have to let the people connect with us. For that, we have to use the accept function. So with this accept function, we are accepting the people to connect with us. So we are listening, we are just simply like this, listening, and whenever a connection comes, we accept it and we allow that connection to send data or whatever. So this function returns two things. First, the address of the one who is trying to connect with us, and then a connection object that you can use to do a lot of things. So for example, what you can use to do this is to kind of take whatever they send you. So for example, here you have opened the connection, and if they send you something, you have to use the object that you receive. You have to use this object and receive whatever you want. So for example, here we use the object I told you, and we use the function regv. So here, this is the amount of bytes that we are going to receive, and it's 1024. For example, if I put here 5, I will only receive 5 bytes. Then, with the thing that we receive, we decode it, because in this example, this is a string, and we want to decode that string. After receiving that, we close the connection, and yeah, we end the program. But this is usually in one loop in which, for example, you are able to accept a lot of connections. Also, you can create a multi-thread server which accepts connections in different threads. So if you receive one connection, you put it here, but also if you receive another one, you don't wait, you accept it, and you have both things working at the same times. So what we are going to do is that the client is going to send us a message and we are going to see here the message. So for that, let me explain to you how did I program the client. So this is very simple and it's very similar. So again, we have to use the socket library, then the socket function, then we set that is going to be a TCP socket. So remember that you have to have, you need to have both sockets with the same type of sockets because otherwise you will have some problems. Then we connect the client with the server, and remember that this is an IP direction. So we connect this to this IP direction and to this port, which is the same that it's here. And once we connect, I ask for a message and I send it encoding it. I encode the message and I use the function send all with the socket object and we send the message. So yeah, let's see how this works. So yeah, as you can see here, I already have the commands ready. And for example, we can now execute the server and the server is now blocked because it's waiting for a message. So for example, the server is waiting here in the accept function. So now, if I do this, now the client connected, used this function, connected with the server, and process was no longer blocked by this function and now is here waiting for a message, again blocked. So for example, we are going to say espabila atontao, which in Spanish is something like, hey, have a nice day. And you can see here that you have the IP of the other socket of the client, and here we can see that we sent you a message and the message is the same one as it is here, although they are different process. So you can do this with different machines and different computers if you want. So yeah, that's everything for sockets. I hope you understood. I hope you liked it. And if so, give it a like, share, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Don't forget to go and check my website in which I talk about trading and cryptocurrencies and all that stuff for a very cheap price.
Estoy bajando todo, lo siento, te quedas en nada.